What's good, Cat Nation and GPA fans? Welcome back to the week 2 watch party for the Global Pokemon Alliance. We are going to be breaking down the teams and the battles, taking a look at what has happened in week 2 of the GPA. Appreciate you all for tuning in and watching it, and very much appreciate you guys watching on after the fact, because I believe it's much more fun to watch these things live, so that'll be great. Yeah, a little bit of news for week 4 and 5 is I will be away probably for week 4, 5, and 6. So there will be a giant watch party when I'm back from my vacation where we will cover all the stuff that has happened. So that'll be great and that'll be fun. And we'll get there. So don't worry about that. They will be gone. There will be a hiatus, but there will be a lot of watch party still to come. To start, let's look at our transactions and all the fun stuff there. Okay, I gotta pull them up. So I had a ping. We talked a little bit about last week about a lot of teams dropping some things and making things available to to their teams. So that was the Noivern Probopass. Okay, so Gordon, and I forget what Gordon's team is right now off the top of my head. It's all the way at the end though. The Untitled Archon team. I always forget that team because they don't have a name. That's why I forget them. Wow. Gordon dropped Iron Thorns, which was Terra, Komala, and Masquerain for Brambleghast, Ampharos, and Terra Weirdeer. We talked about Terra Weirdeer. I think that was actually part of the draft analysis. I'm trying to figure out where I am because, again, like I have to backlog a little bit to try to find some of these things, so it's unclear exactly where stuff is. But there are some things that we can figure out. Dom and the Pristine Marina is dropping Gastrodon, picking up Rebonnet and Wishcash. We see that trade has already taken effect. Will be taking effect for week 3 or week 4. I don't remember where he traded again, but he did trade again. Klefki and Crocklore gone from King Kryptonite. And I just saw his team. And the Phoenix Sunkerns, they also have traded that around again. It was Probopass and Noivern getting picked up for Klefki and Crocklore. Still very upset that they got rid of Crocklore. Very upset also that no one else picked it up and made it a Terra Captain yet, because it's amazing Terra Captain. But all those are there, and I'm trying to see a thread dropping Grimmsnarl, dropping the Terra on Grimmsnarl. We talked about that last week, and giving it back to Keldeo. So that is all there. I'm thinking, oh nope, Banzai had a few trades. Urpon, Clodsire, Melodic, and Ferrograph Terra. We're gone for Gengar, which gets Terra, Hippowdon, Vaporeon, Rotom-Mow, and Komala. And then Dom again dropping Wishcash for a Sandslash, as we see both effective this week. All the other trades are picking up in week 3. So we will look at those on week 3. And we'll talk about those from there. But teams look pretty good, I think, so far. But we got some interesting matches today. I'd go break down what the matches are, but you'd see who won, and that's not fun for any of us. Yeah, there's a whole spreadsheet here that has rules, drafts, draft pools, standings, schedules, transactions, all that fun stuff on them. Honestly, I could go to transactions and probably tell you what all the trades and stuff are. Haha, look at me go. So the week 2 trades: Noivern for Klefki, Probopass for Crocklore, Terra Keldeo for Terra Grimmsnarl, Sandslash for Wishcash, Rotom-Mow and Komala for Ogerpon, Vaporeon for Clodsire, Hippowdon for Melodic, Gengar for Ferrograph, all in the Celebies. And then we have a bunch of trades for week 3, and also some trades for week 4 coming in. Yo, what's up? Welcome in. Welcome in. Also, I want to say this is huge over here on the right side. The trades between teams. I've been a part of many draft leagues. I've never seen the trades between teams happen. Honestly, great trade, and I think I talked about that last week, so all that fun stuff. But we are looking more at the teams and what they got. So let's look at our first matchup for the week. It is what? It is the Nightmare Sauce versus Scallop Warrior, which will be Scally, Orange County, Oshawott, which is this Fluttermane team. And then what was the other team? The it was Nightmare Sauce, which is not a coach's name, but it is King Kryptonite and his Sunkern. So these two teams right here in the middle of the screen are the ones that we're going to be looking at first. Yo, you're the GOAT Clock. I hope you appreciate it. I never got to talk to you after the video went up, but like all the shade that I threw at you in the draft video was just a lot of fun, and I had to pick on you because it was fun, and I knew you'd take it on the chest like a real person. Appreciate you a lot, though. All right, so Fluttermane versus Iron Val. Yikes. I don't like that matchup for anyone. Not even both the teams. I've said a lot about this Iron Val Lando core. I really like it. I think it's great. I want to pick up the music a little bit too while we're doing this. My bad. It's a little quiet on my end, and it's also a little quiet on yours. So haha. I like that combo, Iron Val, Landorus, but I like the Basculin Legion even more. I think there's a good shot that it comes this week. I would honestly see Rain being a great option, but also we again have to be curious about doing it because there is Thunder from Raging Bolt will cripple teams. And also Rain with Quackball as a new sweeper. I actually don't know if Quackball is on the team at this point. I believe it is. I know they traded for it recently. But let me just double check this. No, Quackball is a trade for week 3. So they actually have Torkoal, Cryogonal, and Chinchino. So with Torkoal, Cryogonal, and Chinchino on the team, so obviously we see Torkoal there, and I was gonna say that's a great option, mostly to proc. I like that with Photosynthesis, Fluttermane, and Raging Bolt, so you don't have to waste an item on that. You can use something like, you know, you can use the booster energy if you really want to. You can run Life Orb, you can run Salt Vest on either of them. Heavy Duty Boots is great, especially for the frailty of Fluttermane, so I like those options. Sun does seem like a good option, especially since you are facing the Ring team in this league, especially with Basque Legion. Sun is a great option to deal with that. We have a few weather matchups in the teams here. I know we picked up a sand team recently, so yeah, this team looks really good. Both of these teams look really good. I'm very interested in how it works, but how they work against each other, because it comes down to, in Weather Wars, it always comes down to who gets their condition up and keeps it up. Which I feel like Torkoal is better as a weather setter than Pelipper is. I do think Pelipper can utilize it a little bit more, but with something like Stealth Rocks on Gliscor or Heatran getting in the way, it could cripple the ability to set that rain repeatedly, especially with the weakness. Again, the same thing is true of Torkoal, but Pelipper has a lot more ways to be crushed easier than I believe Torkoal does in this matchup. And I think that's what it's going to come down to, honestly. Who gets the hazard to stop the other one, or who can shut down the rain or sun, either way. Which one becomes a non-factor. Terra Basque Legion looks great this matchup. I don't know what you bring. Maybe I honestly might say bring Terra. I might say bring Terra Ground, honestly, as an option to deal with the Sun Core, but also gets Heatran, catches Heatran, catches Raging Bolt, which is your biggest concern, and also does not really take a lot of damage from Fluttermane. Steel is a good option too if you want an answer for Fluttermane. I would not say Ghost. Ghost could be cool, but the only thing it'd really be there for is Rapid Spin, Torkoal, and I guess that's okay. But you're already a Ghost type, so I would play off of a different Terra. But I think Val, I think Lando, Basque Legion, Hilo, Pelipper, and we have one other slot. I'm not sure. You'd probably want to bring Archaludon just as a counter to Fluttermane. So that would be the 6 I would expect to see. On the other side, I think you have to bring something fast to try to beat Iron Valiant. I don't know if that's going to be Weavile or that might be Booster Speed Fluttermane, but I think Booster Speed Fluttermane could be a good option for this team. Again, I don't remember what the pickups were, so let's see. I would honestly say Cherry Chinchino would have been really good in this fight as a way to set up speed, but also a way to get rid of hazards with things like tidy up. And honestly, a loaded dice set looks really good into this team. Like loaded dice bullet sea, loaded dice tail slap, I think covers pretty much everything besides our Chaludon, and that can be really dicey. Pun intended. But it could be really good. I would have brought it. I would have loved to keep it on this team. I think it fit well, but I understand the trades and stuff that'd be happening. What am I bringing? I might bring Gliscor. Would I bring Gliscor? No, I wouldn't. I actually wouldn't bring Gliscor to this fight. I think you need something to deal with Val, and that's going to be something to take it pretty nicely. Probably Toxapex, Fluttermane would be the two I would be definitely bringing. Heatran is a good option. Torkoal in the Sun to shut that down. And then maybe another Sun Sweeper to help out. You might bring Bolt. You might bring Raging Bolt. Actually, I would definitely bring Raging Bolt because Thunderclap is a great answer for Revenge Kill on Iron Valiant if Thundurus is dead. Do I have teams? I do have a team. So this is Scal's team. And we're going to pull it down here so you guys can see it. And we'll look at it. So Drought, Heavy Duty Boots, Torkoal. So they prepared for rocks. This team does have a lot of rocks weaknesses, and I've said that to him when I think I made the analysis. But a lot of rocks weaknesses. Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock, Clear Smog, Danger Power. I would definitely throw a fire move on there. I'm not sure if Clear Smog is super important this week, but I guess we'll see. Maybe it's protecting a Valiant. Way to deal with Valiant. Definitely way to deal with Special Valiant with Max. I don't like seeing Max on everything besides Virizion, which you can't see down here, but I'll talk about that set later. That's just one thing I would caution. Choice Band Weavile. Okay, I get the idea. I'm not sure I feel good about it. I really don't know if I feel good about it. Oh, is it Jolly? Yes, it's Jolly. So, Regen, Rocky Helmet, Toxapex looks great for that Valiant. If it's physical, Infestation, Surf. I'm not sure you want to run Infestation. I get the other three moves. And that's another reason why I say Clear Smog is not useful. Let that be the job of Toxapex. Let Torkoal more focus on the Sun, and I would run like Flamethrower or something in that slot instead on this team. But I like that as a defensive option. We have Gliscor with Toxic Orb, a standard defensive set with spikes. I think Gliscor gets access to... I think it gets access to Stealth Rock. I think Stealth Rock is more beneficial to you here, particularly with the Pelipper and all that stuff. And knowing it's probably going to want to be Damp Rock, you want to bring that in. The Heatran, leftover standard defensive Heatran. I'm not hating any of that. I like the add of Taunt. Could be a lead option. Definitely could be a lead option. And then Virizion Expert Belt justified. It is Terra Psychic. It is the only Terra Captain brought. Max Attack. Some scraps into defense and speed. I'm sure that's calced for something, but without looking at a calc, I don't know what that is. And then we have Sacred Sword, Trailblaze, Zen Headbutt, and Sword Dance. I really like the idea of Double Dance Virizion. And why I mean Double Dance, you are getting Sword Dance boost, but Trailblaze is also there for speed. And if you are playing, this is a Naughty Nature, which I don't remember what it does. I think it's... yeah, I don't know what that does. But the idea definitely is to set up Trailblaze and go from there and try to outspeed the team. Yeah, I'm not seeing the Val counter. Ironic to me that there is no... I mean, we're looking at a team that's pretty weak to... I mean, Torkoal is going to be your answer. Toxapex is going to be your answer. I just feel like Val is a great option this week and will destroy this team. So, interested in what that looks like in this battle. But we have nothing else to do but to jump into the battle. Let's take a look. So Iron Val, Grafai, Latias, Basculegion, our Chaludon, and Kilowattrel. So no way to set Rain besides manually. I believe Rain Dance is on, I know Rain Dance is on Grafii. I believe also Kilowattrel and Latios get access to it. I'm not sure. Or Latias, sorry. We have Manual Sun with no abusers. That's the thing. These teams really were playing like 5D chess, and I think all of them ended up playing 1D chess with the team comps. Nothing I would have expected to bring. But hey, I mean, maybe they're smart. Maybe they're smarter than I am. Attack over special defense. That would make sense for Naughty Nature. Yep. Yes, I believe you're correct. What's the Terras on? I always on not Gordon's team, on Kryptonite's team. Escala is Terra Psychic, Verizian. The Terras on the other team are Terra Steel, Kilowattrel. I don't hate that. Definitely meant for what's its face, Fluttermane, but we don't see it. I'm very interested that we don't see. I mean, I get not bringing Lando, but I don't know. Pelipper is kind of crazy. I guess Grafia is going to do that work. Grafia has a lot of use. I think it could be, it's probably going to be a lead option. I wonder if it's Toxorb Trick. I wonder if it's a Lagging Tail Trick. I wonder if it's an Unburdened set. I doubt it's an Unburdened set. Although an Unburdened set, well, I guess you wouldn't be able to kill Weavile, but an Unburdened set could slap. If I'm expecting leads, I would probably say our Chalunon and Torkoal. Maybe Heatran's anti-lead, but we'll see what happens in this first turn. So Gliscor, maybe to bluff Stealth Rocks. I don't get the Latias. But Sub Laddie, okay, and Spikes is coming up. So we are seeing the hazards come up, but I don't think the hazards matter too much, especially with that Latios. That kills. I guess it's quite effective. Leftovers Ice Beam Latias with Sub. Is this a stored power set, perchance? A Calm Mind stored power in the back? I don't know. Yep, I think it is. I think it's Calm Mind stored power chance. Dark Pulse, great bring on the Heatran. Unfortunately, the Calm Mind actually making it not matter. That's crazy. Yeah, this Latias just sweeps here, I think. Your way to break it is to get into Weavile, and I think Weavile has to be triple axle for it to matter. And I don't think that happens. That's crazy. Clear Smog, so that actually works, but through the sub it does not. So it works out well here. Here's Weavile being dead. Oh, it lived. It lived. It lived. That is the one thing that could stop Latias, but now this game is all in the driver's seat for King Kryptonite. I don't know how Scowl brings this back. Right here is how. Swords Dance, Trailblaze. You need a Terra Psychic. And a Thunder Wave to catch the strays of speed. That's crazy. Yeah, this game is unfortunately very over, I think, at this point. There's not much it can do. This Toxapex can do some work, but Calm Mind sub Latias is pretty much the win. Yeah, I don't see an out. Haze does work through sub, so I mean, this is the fight you want to see. This is the fight you needed to have a lot earlier, but unfortunately Toxapex is just so poor offensively that it can't do anything. And also it is not stored power, it's Thunderbolt, which is a great coverage move for this team, especially assuming that Toxapex was going to be the way to deal with it. Yeah, Taunt is cute, but Taunt is a little too late. I mean, you don't have a great way to deal damage to Heatran. But Heatran, we know, can't do more than 25% with a Dark Pulse. It probably... Oh, wow, he crits. That crit matters. The crit matters a lot. But the switch to Torkoal, I'm not really sure I get that. I don't really know why Torkoal is here now. So that's the big thing I want to talk about. The big thing I want to talk about is because neither of them really brought their weather abusers, it made Torkoal pretty much useless in this fight. And that is always the gambit that you play when you're going against opposing weather, because sometimes the best option, and in this case, what King Kryptonite opted to do, was not bring the weather when you didn't need it. I mean, obviously, Latias is getting the job done. The sweep off of Bastion Legion, while it could absolutely work outside of Weavile, I mean, maybe even inside of Weavile with like Swift Swim, yeah, it could definitely work. The better option is definitely just setting up Latias and making him regret not bringing something to specifically deal with Latias, which is the Weavile. And this set is just good. Sub is exactly what was needed. Calm Mind works great, and it's just hard to get past. That's a sack for later. The sub is coming off. I mean, you really need to get a way to deal with that sub. And I don't know what that is. This is probably a sack. It is into Torkoal to see the Thunderbolt. And now you have to bring in Toxapex to try to shut down this Latios while the taunt is in effect. However, again, that is going to fade in next turn. There is nothing you really have to break the Latios. It's a 6-0, I feel like. And now that taunt's worn off, it is GG's. 2 paras is ridiculous. This version didn't even get to do anything. It clicked Swords Dance and then it just died. That's crazy. That is so bad RNG. But honestly, it doesn't really matter now, because Latias just picks up 6 kills and walks away. Yeah, that was a good set. Great set. I didn't even get to see the rest of it. I am really curious what the profile was. I want to know. I really want to know. But yeah, that game was over as soon as that sub came out. And Weavile was the answer to beat Latias, but I mean, that's probably doesn't even need to be max speed, honestly. It's probably good. Invested in speed somehow. Again, we didn't really get to test it too much. It is invested a little bit, but I don't remember what Gliscor's investments were. But GG's, well played, a great 6-0, taking advantage of what was needed to be done So this is Thread and Phantom now. Thread running that Gouging Fire Petrarunt team, which now has the Chinchino. That definitely could have been great in that fight right there. And then Thread and Phantom the Westbound Lugias with the Goldingo Rapid Strike Urshifu form. The Tinglu, that is a crazy start. Terra Bug Trapinch still sitting there, not actually being used. I'm just saying, it's down here. It's down at the bottom here off the screen. You can't see it. It's there. It should be used, but we'll see. If I'm Thread and Phantom, what am I doing here? What am I bringing into this fight? I don't know if I have a good answer for that. You want to obviously try to bring your top Pokemon. So Gouging Fire, great into Goldingo, not so great into Urshifu. Okay into Urshifu, definitely not good into Tinglu. Tinglu's a great counter for that. That has to come this week, in my opinion. I would expect Urshifu to come to deal with Petrarunt. Phantom just kind of has answers for Thread this week. It just seems like everything that Thread would want to do seems to be taken care of pretty well. And the Thundy v Thundy mirror match could be interesting, and I definitely see it happening, because I believe it's Prankster versus Voltabsorb, and that would be your answer and block to Thunder Wave every single time. Yeah, it definitely feels more on Phantom's side, this battle. Ogerpon, I'm not sure Ogerpon comes this week. I actually don't think it does come. You probably find a way to slot a grass type move onto something else. Although I don't think anything else has a grass type move. That's interesting. Well, maybe it does. So I would expect Rapid Strike Urshifu, Tinglu, Thunder's Tea, Ogerpon. Throw your pick in the Terra Captains, probably Avalugg for rocks to catch everything, especially the Thundy that's not running boots. And then take your pick of your last slot. I mean, I get the idea that Cyclizar could be okay here. Then Dunsparce could be okay here. I do not think you bring Trapinch unless you were going to choice band it, Terra Bug, but you don't have Terra Bug, so probably not. On the other side, I think you want to bring Gouging Fire. I think the right call is not to. I think you try to rely on the Petra run a little bit more to deal with, I don't even know what do you beat Grimmsnarl with? Maybe Gligar? Maybe Gligar. And then I don't have a real good way to beat Urshifu. I don't see a great way. Prankster, well, I guess Prankster would work. Prankster Grimmsnarl could be an option, and that might be a great way out of Rapid Strike Urshifu. Lagging Tail would cripple that thing. I don't know, man. Keldeo seems okay. Keldeo, I think, is a must bring, honestly. It's probably Gouging Fire, Grim, Pecha, Keldeo with Terra. I don't know if you try Thundy. You might try Thundy for the outspeed potential on Urshifu, but that would be the only way. And then maybe throw a Terra Captain or two in there. I don't have any breakdowns, so we just have to go in and see what they got. Oh, interesting, James. Thread opting for Terra Fairy Quagsire and Terra Fairy Keldeo to be the wins this time. I mean, I don't see an answer. The crazy thing is Urshifu doesn't show up. That's what's crazy. I mean, the Ogerpon definitely looks a lot better seeing Quag, seeing Keldeo, seeing Serena. It does half the team well. Goldango, I'm not so sure about into this team, but maybe it's an answer for Keldeo in the back. Tinglu was a must bring. Rocks pivoting, rapid spin potential. And I'm not sure what the Sylveon's here for. Maybe it was meant to catch the Urshifu, but again, an interesting week where the big brings. Yeah, and the big brings are not. No, the Urshifu's on his team. My bad. My bad. I don't know what the Sylveon trying to catch here. I don't know what the Sylveon's trying to catch. That's the crazy part. That's an interesting bring. I'm very curious. League probably Avalugg or Tinglu would be my assumption. With the ideas of probably, I mean, Quag makes a good lead option. If it is going to be Prankster Grim, which it probably should be, it should be the lead, but it might be less useful now that there's not the, I would assume it's really here for, it was really here for that Urshifu, wrong button. Yeah, it's really here for that Urshifu, I believe, but I'm actually going to flip the viewpoints to help me out. All right, let's see what we got. What's the lead? Cyclizar for pivot and then Grimmsnarl. So this to me shows Prankster. I wonder what the Prankster item is going to be. It might be Prankster Toxic Orb. Might be Prankster Toxic Orb. If so, that's a great read. It's just Parting Shot. All right, so Poison goes in the Quag, which takes the knockoff, which gets rid of Rocky Helmet, which is great. And then the U-turn pivot. See, that's not a bad lead because it gets you into inevitably what you want to be into. What's up, Nico? And then Spikes is up. So that is they're both just trying to stop, I guess, Focus Sash from being important. Ruination, great ability here. Cyclizar for the pivot to get the rapid spin off, but Serena's gonna do it too. Yeah, they're gonna be trying to trade Spikes, I feel like. The AV knockoff coming out in the clutch. Again, Grimmsnarl trying to find a way around all these things. It's a screen. Hold on. Whoa. It's a screens Grimmsnarl. So that's Light Clay, likely with probably Reflect and Light Screen, P-Shot. It might not have an attacking move, to be fair. This is the GPA Season 1 Week 2 watch party. So we talk about Draft League stuff. I don't know. That's thing to note, especially if you see Grimmsnarl. Ton is a great user. Non-pass is going to bring the stat drops, but does ultimately get a pivot in the right way. Ivy Cudgel doing nothing, but also not trying to catch Gathering Fire on the switch. And there's the D-Dance, and this game might just be over. This game might just be over with that D-Dance. It depends on... I mean, I think Ting Lu still takes it pretty well. We're just watching. Yeah, the Morning Sun in the back is great. I mean, this Gouging Fire wins this exchange, in my opinion. And I think you knew it. So there's Heat Crash just to kill your Dingo, which is kind of crazy to me. I mean, I guess you needed a pivot somehow. Whirlwind Ting Lu, great call, but unfortunately brings out probably the last thing you want to see. A layer of spikes before you go down. Ooh, Trailblaze Keldeo is interesting. That doesn't tell me if it's physical or special yet, but I imagine it's special because they did nothing to Sylveon, and Sylveon is not defensive. I mean, we're playing a circle right now. It's a really interesting circle where hazards are trying to be gone, but also damage is being dealt like crazy. So it is only a matter of time until I think Red's team goes down. And there's the hole that's open. So spikes can come up for free now. Probably a P shot out. Light screen. Okay. There's the dual screens. It gets rid of Light Clay, which we did expect. P shot. We haven't seen the last move of that thing yet. I mean, maybe we're trying to get to an Aspathra sweep. But like, this is where we're at. Like, Aspathra can try the sweep. It's gotta have like a fairy move on it to deal with the dragon. Well, I guess Cyclostar's poison type now. To deal with Ting Lu in the back. But it's also like really trying to get the speed boost off to try to outspeed, I guess, Ogerpon. If he can get this set up, I mean, it's behind screens for 5 and 6 turns. So Sylveon's going to sit here in front of it, and that's going to be the crazy part. But we also did see that Whirlwind Ting Lu is a play, but it is currently at 12%, so that might not matter. The yawn is huge. Do you tank it or you switch? You switch. Trying to make use of the turns you still have. I'm assuming that is your only attacking move. And Grimmsnarl has low kick. Interesting. As its attacking move. A lot of phasing on this team. I'm not sure if that was meant to be the case, but a lot of pivoting and phasing going on here. Keldeo is just breaking this team, honestly, at this point. Like, show me the Keldeo switching. It's Sylveon right now, and that's not a great switch-in. The Ivy Cudgel, the Horn Leech to KO Quag. That's a good bring. That's a good bring. You do have the coverage for Gouging Fire. I'm not sure that's enough. I'm honestly not sure that's enough. Yeah, because Heat Crash should KO. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think Gouging Fire just sweeps right here. Yeah, that's it. One Dragon Dance is all it needs sometimes. The team was broken. That Keldeo did a great job to break the team. And I said, if you don't have a way to shut down, you have to shut down Gouging Fire. It just wins. It just wins. It's just how it does. And might I recommend Unaware Crocalor? Really good counter, Gouging Fire. If anyone's looking, just so you know. Did do a great job in the one I had, especially if you Terra Water. But yes, you are right. Gouging Fire is an absolute menace and monster to every team. I hate seeing it. I hate prepping for it last season, but I fortunately drafted the most defensive team I think anyone's ever seen, at least I've ever seen, and it worked out. And these teams in draft that don't have the top tier threats, answers to threats available to them at any given point in time, do struggle with stuff like this. So yeah. And while I said Thread had a bad matchup, I think the brings off of Phantom's team were just not the right calls. I am very much concerned about why Urshifu didn't show up at all. or Thunderous to try to deal with the ways to shut down Gouging Fire. I didn't notice that as much on the Bring, but Ting Lu tried, and Ting Lu, I mean, you're asking Ting Lu to take that on, but also there's other things that you're trying to get Ting Lu to do with like Spikes and Whirlwind. If it was a more offensive Ting Lu set and there was some other way, there was plenty of phasing, but maybe a different strategy build with that Ting Lu could have shown something a little bit better. I do not know why Sylveon came at all. I really don't. I have no answers for it. I mean, I might have tried Choice Scarf Monkey Dory just to poison the dang thing. But hey, that's just me. That's just me. All right, what's the next match? Clock and Banzai. Try not to look at the teams, by the way, when I do that. So Clockwork is all the way over here on the left. You can see his team. Okay. So it's a Great Tusk, Darkrai, Dragonite team. As I said, love Darkrai. Darkrai just wins games. That's just how it is. And this is versus Banzai, who is down here with the Boston Celebes. We'll give you a little bit more space. That Roaring Moon, Corviknight, Volcarona, Iron Bundle, hat set. Honestly, with the team, I might run Trick Room Hattering. I'm definitely running Terra Knuckle Stack this week. But Trick Room, it might just be the best way to shut down Darkrai that you have. Volcarona with a Quiver Dance could do it, but it's got to be Quiver Dance. Kamala, I don't think it's on the team yet at this point in time, but that is a tough team to break through. I'm honestly not a big fan of Roaring Moon coming this week. I think you try to do it with Iron Bundle Hattering to Volcarona. Give yourself Knuckle Stack to deal with the defensive options of the week. If you don't want to run Trick Room, you're running Nuzzle Hattering, which isn't bad into Great Tusks because you can always just Dazzling Gleam it in the back or Moonblast it. I don't know. It depends on the brings, really, I think. If I'm Clock, what am I bringing? I'm definitely bringing Tusk to try to deal with Knuckle Stack. Also to maybe catch the Volcarona with a speedier set. A way to shut down Roaring Moon. Darkrai is a definite bring. Its speed might be one of the only things that gets it past Roaring Moon. Dragonite seems pretty safe. Although rocks are going to be... I don't know if I bring Dragonite expecting Knuckle Stack and rocks. I definitely don't bring Rabombi in that situation. I tell you what I do bring. I do bring that Ogerpon just to catch some of those bottom tiers like Vaporeon or Hippowdon if they come. I'll be honest, Chandelure looks really good this week too. Chandelure looks really great this week, especially if you can give it, I don't know, Dragon? Maybe Terra Dragon? Terra Dark, Terra Dragon, one of the two. Shore up some weaknesses. These teams can go a lot of different ways here. So let's just see what they brought. Hippo down, Bundle, Corv, Roaring Moon, Gengar, and Conk, which is Terra Fairy. I forgot Gengar's Terra Fairy. Terra Fairy Choice Scarf is actually a really good option for Gengar, for Gengar against Darkrai. Terra Fairy, Terra Fairy probably more a Darkrai counter than anything, but Terra Fairy on just the... So the Lapras is the Terra Captain. I don't even see... Okay, Lapras is hiding back there behind a giant freaking hammer, which is probably what's going to happen to it. Yeah. I don't know. Is Sand an option? I don't see Sand being an option. I don't remember what the other ability is for Hippowdon, though. But it's here. Mew is a wild card. I forgot about the Mew. That's a crazy pair. Darkrai Mew is just... I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's so versatile. If I'm gonna guess, what's the Oricorio for? Corviknight? That might be a Scarfed Oricorio. Alright. I don't have a great option on leads, to be fair. I think if we're smart, we probably see Darkrai. Well, I would see Darkrai as a good lead here. Because we gotta imagine the moveset. I mean, it's not gonna be great against Corviknight. And maybe a Corviknight's the lead on the other side. But I would expect maybe Hippowdon, maybe... I would expect Hippowdon or maybe even Conkeldurr. I think Hippowdon, though, is the better bring. And expecting that I'd start with Ogerpon or Mew, depending on if you're running a U-turn pivot set. I might just try to throw out... I mean, the win con seems like it's going to be Roaring Moon in the back. Oricorio was Herb for Dancing Volcarona. Oh. Yeah, that would be a great counter. Forgot about the Volcarona being brought, which is... I'm like, why is the Volcarona not here? That is a great Darkrai grab, and that is a great strategy against that. To punish the obvious Quiver Dance that would be there. Maybe a little bit less useful now. Maybe it's a lead with U-turn. I don't know. We'll see what's happened. Let's see what happens. Ogerpon predicting probably Hippowdon into, but it's Roaring Moon. Oh. Is this just a Dragon Dance setup? I think it is. Notice it is not booster. So which means it's probably, to me, it's probably Life Orb. It's a U-turn pivot. Okay. They want to feel each other out. The very funny fight here, according to Dex's. Great fight. Tinkaton always wins, apparently, because her hammer's made out of Corviknight stuff. But this also might just be a pivot. That item is a bad loss, though. It is just a pivot. A pivot into Hippowdon, which brings out the sand, which... It is a sand run. Okay. And here's where a breakthrough tries to happen with the Trailblaze Brave. That has got to be some sort of at least invested. I don't think Brave Bird kills from there, but that's got to be invested somehow. Crazy. Good kill, though. All right, fire U-turn. Great read into U-turn. Good call. Rev Dance could have been cool. All right. Sash doesn't matter now. That is showing me... I'm not even going to touch the Paris song right now, but that is showing me Choice Band. It's actually showing me Choice Scarf. Choice Band or Scarf on the Roaring Moon. I'd imagine it's Scarf to outspeed Darkrai. Paris is a great idea. If this is Paris Whirlpool, I'm so happy. I doubt it, but it could be. Makes a smart call, switches out. Terra Fairy, it is Whirlpool. Unfortunately, it doesn't land the way it wants to. Great read by Banzai seeing that. But that is damage you don't really want to take on your Gengar. This should be just a Sludge Wave, yeah. Good switch, good switch. And here's finally the Darkrai. Just to switch right back out. I probably could skip like 15 turns and we'd still be in about the same spot with them just switching around. I'm just gonna put that out there. The Whirlpool catches Gengar this time, which now wants to scout for the Shadow Ball and or Sludge Wave. Wants to scout for the Sludge Wave, rather. Probably. But the correct play is made into Shadow Ball to stop the Tinkaton, get that off the field, and now we're to 6-4. Darkrai is the obvious answer there. I'm surprised it was a Dark Pulse and not like a Psychic. That makes me think the Darkrai's not running Psychic, but it'd be interesting. I mean, I would be Ice Beam, Psychic, Dark Pulse, It doesn't give you really a good option for Corviknight, but you don't really have a good option for Corviknight if you're Darkrai. We know it's not Life Orb, though. Could be Focus Sash. Probably Focus Sash. Maybe Choice. I don't think that's Choice damage. It's especially defensive Mew. You gotta have like Flamethrower or Fire Punch here. Alright, so Special Mew, Giga Drain. Giga Drain? Predicting the bundle, maybe? Alright, this is a D-Dance setup. Yeah, that's a band. That's a Scarf. That is a Scarf. 100%. Yeah, that Oricorio wasn't doing anything else there. I love that the chump check every single time is Darkrai for Gengar. The problem I have is that the click is Dark Pulse every time. Scarf Focus Blast on Darkrai. What is Scarf for Focus Blast? Oh, you have Scarf, your Choice Scarf Focus Blast. Oh, yeah, that would do. That would do. Yeah. I like that it is Dark Pulse, though, and not something else. Like, I mean, I guess if those are your only... I guess with Scarf, you'd have 4 attacks, so pretty much anything would KO Gengar at that point, to me. This is a sack. A great sack to get Lapras in, to bring in Corviknight. Now, you gotta do something here. The U-turn, though, it blocks that pivot. And I wouldn't have maybe done that there. So you're trying to stall, which is smart because there is no real way. What is Lapras running? Parashine, Whirlpool, Protect. What's the last move? Is it not Ice Beam? Oh, Gengar is Specs after the game. Interesting. There it is. Freeze Strike. Great play. Curse is too little, too late. I think. Yeah, with Whirlpool damage. Oh, that's a Protect. That's a Protect that's gonna bite you in the butt. 31. Yeah, EQ just finishes this. Good read. Good read not playing into the defense there and taking your time to do some damage. You are now in range of Lapras mostly KOing the Hippowdon, but the problem that's going to happen right here is because Darkrai is choice locked, it can't beat everything on the field. Like Dark Pulse doesn't kill 78% Corviknight. Doesn't kill Moon, might be able to kill, does kill Gengar, and yeah, but it's, the Scarf is definitely going to be a thing. And it depends on what comes in here. Is it Dark? It is Trick. That, okay. Take back everything I said. Trick is great on a Choice Scarf Darkrai. That is going to be good to minimize the damage of this Conkeldurr. It does limit you from clicking Trick again, but you're not going to want to. And Dark Pulse flinches might just be the win. It's definitely the win con here. Because one Drain Punch KOs. That's an unfortunate 6-0. Again, two teams bringing things I wouldn't have expected. But again, another play where bringing what is expected is a bad call. Because Volcarona just would have let potentially Oricorio reverse sweep. Also, Oricorio's not on this because it was traded. So I don't like seeing 6-0 sweeps in Draft League. I feel like they should be rare occurrences, but you gotta admit when somebody's got your number, man. You gotta admit when somebody got it. I think Banzai also is like, I think that's 2 6-0s week back to back, which is kind of crazy. Very surprising considering I hate Roaring Moon, but it is what it is. All right, we got what now? Beans and Soapy Boogas, which I believe is Wastecar. Yes, Beans and Wastecar. Archean Pow, Iron Moth, Wake, Arbo set. versus Terapagos, Meowscarada, Kyurem, Lando T. Ooh. Okay. We do have Beans' draft. Nothing happened. I have to watch all of them. I'm contractually obligated for my $8.70 an hour to watch every battle and tell people that they suck at playing Pokemon. I believe you wrote those rules, so sorry. What's the brings here? What is the matchup? That Qianpao is not great, but Terra Lucario feels good. Terra Typhlosion feels good. The Terras look really good in this fight. I'll be honest. I think Terra Typhlosion looks sick. Sun advantage is there. It beats your entire top tier of threats minus Walking Wake and Iron Moth. And against Iron Moth, it's probably still pretty good. It looks really great to me. But that means some combination of Wake, Dachshund, and Colossal have to come to this fight to deal with that. I like the idea of U-turn Lando, especially Intimidate U-turn Lanto, Choice Scarf to deal with Qianpao a little bit. You can maybe proc that ice move into Lucario and then switch around, or proc it into Regirock and go from there. Terapagos looks pretty solid. Meow is always good. Meow is a great answer for that Dawn fan and that Colossal that wants to try to Terra. I don't like it for the top tiers, but also for Wake, yeah. So if I'm looking at the team, I might be going Lando, Terra, Meow. Take your pick of Terra option besides Raichu, because Raichu's dog. This might be the match I bring Kricketune for webs. Other than that, I don't know. I really don't know. Kyurem, Freeze Dry Kyurem. Freeze Dry Kyurem. I like that. On the other side, jeez. Qianpao feels like it has to come to deal with Meow Lando. Also, good answer for Typhlosion on switch in with dark moves. I don't hate walking or Iron Moth or Walking Wake this week. I think it just has to be right sets and they have to be set up. I'll be honest, Arboliva is not terrible. I don't think you bring Sun. I really don't think you bring Sun here. I don't think you bring Ninetales. I don't think you bring Leafeon this week. Rotom maybe as a way to deal with Lando, but it's not a great way to deal with Lando, so probably not. Terra Colossal could show up. I don't hate Terra Colossal, honestly. Definitely not with Steam Engine. So I would probably say what? Qianpao, Iron Moth, Walking Wake, Colossal, Terrad. I don't think you necessarily need to deal with rocks, but if you want, Donphan's not a bad option, honestly. So potentially Donphan. It's just not fast. Yeah, and then your last pick is kind of what do you want? Do you want to try to deal with? You want to try to first impression Meowscarada? Do you want to do damage to Tropic? I think you bring the Slitherwing. Yeah, that's probably the six I'd bring: Qianpao, Iron Moth, Walking Wake, Slitherwing, Colossal with Terra and Donphan, because that would match up well against most of the team. And then it's probably what Terapagos, Meowscarada, Kyurem, Lando, Terra Lucario, or Typhlosion. I'd honestly bring Kricketune. I would really bring Kricketune for speed control in this game. Like, I think that would help you tremendously. Especially booster speed Walking Wake, booster speed Iron Moth. Lead focus Sash Kricketune would be great answer. Let's see what Beans brought. So this is Wastecar in that team. We got Sun. Photosynthesis Sun is an idea. It's not a bad idea, I don't think. Rotom does check a lot of variants of Terapagos, but I don't trust it. I don't trust Terapagos in this. So Flash Fire, I'm not. What does that deal with? That's a good answer for Typhlosion, honestly. It's not even manual. It's not even Sun. It's manual Sun, but it's not Sun. Interesting. Sunny Day Overheat, Shadow Ball Encore, high damage, fast. Not a bad bring. Silver Powder Slitherwing in first impression. I'm not sure on the calc on that, but I'm pretty sure that's to boost first impression for. I mean, that's gonna kill Meowscarada. Right. I don't know about that item. Again, I don't like the maxes coming out in most of these sets, but I get it. Whoa, mix. We got mixed here. I missed Bug Buzz and Heat Wave. That's interesting. Wait, is this? Okay, how did I never know that this team got both Paradox Volcaronas? That's kind of crazy. Big fan of that. Yeah, I don't know what to say about the Slitherwing. It's weird. I don't hate it. I do understand Silver Power more with the no attack investment and Hasty. U-turn for pivoting, meant to be speedy. Again, this is why I think the webs would be great. Look at the speed investments. 3, 4, 5. 5 out of the 6 Mons max speed. Webs is so good in this team right here. In this case. Air Balloon Jirachi, that's special. Okay. To catch a what? To catch a Lando T on a pivot. And it's special to deal with not being intimidated. Gotcha. Rocky Helmet Sturdy with Stealth Rock, Rapid Spin, Standard Donphan set. Special Defensive Donphan. Booster Energy, Walking Wakes, Terrace. I'm assuming that's going to boost speed, which is why his special attack's not maxed out. Otherwise, it's pretty standard. And Choice Band. I don't like Choice Band on Chien-Pao in this game, just because the idea of Ice Shard, Ice Spinner, I don't hate it. I don't like it. I don't hate it, though. But that is going to bring in something like Lucario or Typhlosion for free. I don't think you can really afford that. Also, sorry I didn't show you the whole team, but that's fine. I talked through it pretty well. All right, so the brings, we're going to swap the sides because this is what we've seen. Sun, obviously, the lead could be probably... I mean, maybe it's lead pivot Slitherwing here, or facade of the Sun there. We do see the Cricketune. Phenomenal bring. This is the week to bring it. Honestly, the week to bring it. Terra Fairy, Typhlosion. Oh, you do at the pace. Thanks. I forget you bring them. All right, so that was, we did the other team. This is Beans. Ignore the Lottie set. Thanks for the post. Appreciate it. I do like looking at them. All right. So we have Focus Sash, Sticky Web. That's all you need. Yeah. Focus Sash, Sticky Web. Perfect. Terra Fairy with Terra Blast Overheat. I'm not sure about Overheat, but it's not the worst option. For Alligator, defensive flipping, okay, for Alligator. Intimidate flipping, Intimidate defensive Lando. Very nice. A lot of defense, and then Power Herb for Meteor Beam. That's kind of nuts. Okay. Not bad. I like the team. I feel like it's well constructed this week. Lead is 100% Cricketune. And probably seeing that, you're going to start with, I would assume, the Ninetales. I love the text. I brought Cricketune. So, the Cricketune is huge. They know. I hate that guy. All valid responses to seeing Cricketune on the field. So it's Heat Wave. Not even the sash. That's crazy. I mean, given it's not a special attacker, but it doesn't even bring the sash. It's funny to me. And webs. Sad that didn't do more. Sad that didn't do more, but it didn't matter. Yeah, webs is huge. Unfortunately for the webs, Jirachi avoids that because of the air balloon. And that's actually a great idea to get in for Alligator. The flip allows Lando to come in or Typhlosion to just start clicking buttons. But do you predict before you click Overheat? You just go Shadow Ball. So here's trying to get rid of webs. That's a great play. But does Cricketune get back in is the question. That might be a sack. Oh, whoa. Rocks. Did I miss rocks? What the hell? I did miss rocks. That stops Cricketune from coming back in, so webs are gone. I did see the eject pack. I didn't say anything about it though. Yeah, rock's good because this wants to come in. The eject pack is interesting. I mean, we saw it last week. Yeah, we saw someone do it last week. I don't remember who, but I did see it. I don't know if I like that, but we'll see. First impression, trying to do something. Unfortunately, that is a dead Slitherwing, and the chances of winning just drop because what beats Terapagos? It popped on webs. That's fair. Sunny Day comes in. Lando. So we use the free switch to get into Lando, which dies to a crit overheat. Pretty sure that crit doesn't matter. And there's the way to get rid of Terra Shell. Unfortunately, this allows a setup to happen with Rock Polish. We know it doesn't have Rapid Spin, but it'd be cool if it did. And Meteor Beam is just going to drop it. So now this thing looked pretty unstoppable. Completely different game if that Jirachi stayed in the back until this moment. Completely different game, just saying. But I don't... What stops you right now? Yeah. +1, +1, +2. This could be the answer, but I don't think it's going to matter. No. It doesn't. Yeah. Terapagos is annoying. It's like... It's one of the Pokemon alongside of like... I don't know. I don't know. It's like alongside that level of like gouging fire, where it's like it's really broken in this format, but it's not so good that it just wins every time it comes in. If you play well around it, you can beat it. And yeah, that's just not what happened here. Big congrats on the webs. I love the webs play. That is my favorite thing. I love that webs happened. Very happy to see Cricketune in the game. Love my Daily Lily whoops. I get some Daily Lily whoops in chat for the Cricketune. Appreciate it. Yeah, but honestly, great. I think it's a pretty great battle, all things considered. I'm just like trying to see like what if there was a change, what would I do? And I don't even know. You are right. Terapagos, like any of the mythicals, specifically Mew, Terapagos, trying to think things that have like the same attack stats. They are crazy to deal with. Like Cobalion is one too. That's lower tier, but they can do anything. And not knowing what they do is often the problem that comes up. And once you do know what they do, it's often 9 times out of 10 way too late to matter. Like, it's way too late. Like, you're already done. You're already cooked. But to me, I don't see a real... I mean, Slitherwing feels like the answer to me to Terapagos. And the fact that it goes down, what, turn 7, turn 8? It's crazy to me. Like, I don't think I would have ever left it in here. I might have got rid of... Are webs up? Webs aren't up. I might have said goodbye to Dawn Fan at that point right here. Because, I mean, it's nice for wheezing, but you don't need it, really. I might go back to Jirachi here, knowing it can't do what it needs to do against Lando. I would not have let it go down. But also, what we know about the Slitherwing is it doesn't have a fighting move. So that might have been just a thing. I don't really see a great way for us to deal with Terapagos on this team. And that, I think, might be the biggest problem. Honestly, might just be the biggest problem here. Yeah. Well, I've been surprised this week so far with the number of things that I wouldn't have expected to see that have shown up, but it is draft league, so yeah. What we got? Joe and RDG. I always want to go RGD. It's RDG Dom. Dom in the pristine Primarinas. With that Urshifu single strike, the Torno T. My boy Skarmory holding it down. And this freaking Sceptile that's so bad. No one should ever use it. Versus Carolina Crocodiles, which are off the screen here. But Dragapult, Iron Treads, Palafin, Hydrapple, Overcoat, Rotom Heat, Florges, ISL, Hitmontop, and Blissey. One of my favorite teams in the league. Yes, one of my favorite teams in the league. I just love that core so much. I don't know, man. I'm bringing Overquill. I'm bringing defensive Overquill with Toxic Spikes. And I'm seeing what happens. I might do Suicide Lead Ass Elf. Rocks Explosion. I like Treads this fight. I don't think you can bring Treads. Yeah, I don't think you want to worry about hazards too much or anything. So Tread stays at home, I feel like. Palafin, I also feel like stays at home. I don't think it's what you need for this fight. You want to bring more of your defensive staples. I would say Hitmontop, Blissey, Florges, Rotom Heat, Overquill would be what I'm looking at. I bring Dragapult just to bring a top tier Pokemon, but I would probably run it more supportive to try to chip down that Urshifu instead of get the kill. And Hydrapple maybe also. This is a lower tier week for me for the Crocodiles. With Dom, I don't know. Urshifu is a menace. Just to the top 3, it's a menace. Tornadus probably stays home. Rotom Wash probably stays home. Goodra looks great. Skarmory looks okay. If you really want to run Skarmory, I don't think you do. I think you go hyper offense this week with Urshifu, Cinderace, maybe Crawdaunt, maybe Choice Scarf Crawdaunt. I like Choice Scarf Crawdaunt this week. It's attack. It might be attack. And then you bring like maybe Wash for pivoting and or the Palafin if you're worried about that. Sceptile for maybe some speed if you want. I don't think you want to do that. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I guess maybe Fez. These are pretty good stacks, I'll be honest. All right, we got both of their teams though. So this is verse Joe. This is Joe's team. And I'll pull up the other things so we don't have to look at the other team. The Palafin 0 to hero with the idea to pivot. It's a hard pivot. Wow. The Lum Barrier. Hurricane? Maybe it's for Fez. It might be for Fez. Okay. Eject Pack Dragapult, that makes sense. It's a good pivot option. Exactly what I would have expected. More of a menace than actually offense. Well, I guess it could do some work, but more of a menace than something that's going to try to get kills. Terra Normal Explosion. That's what I expected to see. That is a lead option 100% of the time. Rocky, yeah, standard Hydrapple. Not that 0 speed matters, but I guess Trick Room is an option. Yeah. And then we have Bulk, Bulk, and Bulk. We actually have an offensive Rotom Heat with Choice Scarf that I don't hate. Because that Choice Scarf Overheat would hurt. We have Phrasing and Dragon Tail. And then we have a Weakness Policy Florges with Stored Power. That's going to be clutch. That's going to be clutch. You heard it here first. That's going to be clutch. All right. And then this is Dom's team. Sorry. Trying to get it to be on the screen for you. Unseen Fist, Lumberry. Again, I'm not 100% on that Lumberry. Maybe for Overquill? I don't know. Probably for Overquill. Ugh. Keyberry? I gotta do some research. What the frick's a Keyberry do? I believe it's Confuse. No. Is it Confusion? No, that's Persim. It's defense by 1 stage when hit by a physical move. Okay, I mean, that's a good option for defensive counters. I'm surprised it's not Body Press, but that's fine. Love the idea of Gooey. Terra Water, Gooey. Yeah, I like that. Rocky Helmet, Skarmory. Now, I don't know if this is messed up, but this is 3 attack Skarmory. It's 3 attack Skarmory. I'm sure there was a 4th attack. I hope there was a 4th attack, but otherwise feels right to me. A little bit more attack investment than I would expect, but does feel pretty right to me. Great lead option also. I would expect Whirlwind as the final slit, but that's just me. Rotom Watch, Citrus Berry, that's Plain Jane, standard Rotom. The defenses being balanced a little bit is a little bit different, but otherwise pretty set. Meloetta, definitely meant to be more of, oh, I don't even know. Definitely meant to be mixed, which is kind of cool. More offensive to me. So meaning it's going to want to be in the fighting state more than the psychic state. But a Relic Slot has to happen to deal with that. Adrenaline Orb for Intimidate, I believe. For Hitmontop, okay. We really expecting Hitmontop? I mean, I guess I did say that. And then Libero Choice Band, Cinderace with U-Turn. Yeah, standard Cinderace set. Nothing too crazy, but I do want to give a slight edge to I think Dom's team. Just on paper, it feels better to me. All right, so we know it's being brought. We are saying the lead option is 100% Skarmory for Dom and 100% Azelf for Joe. So we'll see if that's what we get. We do not. We get Cinderace. That is a great start, honestly. I like that. I'm a fan of that. But I U-turn into Corviknight to try to get rocks up. Sash comes into play. Not Corviknight, Skarmory. Get rocks into play, explosion happens, but you prepare for that with Thunderbolt, which is great. And now this Gudra gets to sit here. Yeah, that Azelf putting in a lot of work. There's the Key Berry coming into play. And that might honestly have just been the best opening sequence Joe could have had. That actually puts Joe in this game. D-Pulse, we're gonna save it for a free switch in. Although I think this might be a dead Meloetta pretty quickly. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a dead Meloetta pretty quickly. Ooh, get the free switch to see what the idea is. Nice. Cinderace able to recover. Gunk Shot lands. Always love to see Gunk Shot land. This is a switch out just to get the pivot. And Dragapult gonna pick that one off. This game, honestly, pretty tight. This is the matchup that I was interested in because I don't think Dragapult wins it. Even with the para, yeah, the Lumberry comes out. And then the Trailblaze to outspeed, and then Wicked Blow. Yeah. Well thought out, well played, because one of the best things you can do to the Urshifus is to put them to sleep or to paralyze them. And then he's just going to go off here. That para is unfortunate, but Body Press will bring you down pretty low. You have to regen switch here. You had to regen switch there. Because I don't... Choice Scarf, though, it's still slower. Yeah, you had to regen switch there to try to get away back into this fight, I think. Although, Palafin... No, Palafin's dead. You bring in Libero Cinderace, you click any move, and it's over. Yeah. Wow. That was a good match. Honestly, I think the match of the week so far. And we have one more left, so I'm comfortable saying that's the match of the week. Phenomenal matchup versus these two. Pretty even teams on paper. I would have given the edge actually to Dom, which was how it turned out, but only for the reason of Urshifu. And it honestly did, well, I guess it did what it needed to do. It's just Urshifu with a Lumberry beats Dragapult 9 out of 10 times. That Azelf, amazing tech from Joe. I think it was a great option to try to break something. And as we see, it took out it took down 3 Pokemon. It didn't take them out. But it cripples the Skarmory. It cripples the Gudra. Which then, you know, never gets capitalized on later. You know, as a free pivot. I mean, those are the 2 takedowns besides the Urshifu that happened. And that is credit exclusively to Azelf. There were other things that finished them off, but Azelf was the reason that those 2 defensive staples went down. If Joe had another way to counter the Urshifu in the back, easily this could have been his game to win. But I just don't think the pieces were there to deal with Urshifu. And it did go down, but it went down way too late. And, you know, as I said, I wasn't a big fan of the Palafin being on this set. I liked everything else. So, I don't know, maybe... I really like Overquill for this fight. I really like Overquill. So, I mean, that might have been my choice. All right, and last but not least, it's Gordon and Michael. Had to remember who the other one was. Gordon and the Untitled Archon team with the Garchomp, Spectrier, Sneasler, Rillaboom team versus Michael and the Greninja, Excadrill, Zapdos team. Michael's team is going to be very different later. It is now Excadrill, T-Tar, Heavy Sand with Houndstone, which honestly means Greninja's kind of useless, but eh. We do have their team, so let's just see what they would bring. Greninja's never useless. You can't see Gordon's team, but Garchomp, Spectre, Sneasler, Rillaboom, Azumarill, Bronzong, Chi-Yu, Bramblegast, Ampharos, Weirdeer, and Vullaby. Terra's on Azumarill and Weirdeer. We did see Azu do a lot of work last week. With the team that I see Michael having, it could be really good, but again, Michael's team is very different than it was now. So let me actually see what Michael's team should be. I know he made, I think, all of his trades. Yeah, so Michael's team is, so he would have Annihilate, Galarian Slowking, Fortress, Clefable, and Trevenant instead of Excadrill, Houndstone, Tyranitar, Arcanine, and Comfey. So all his sand pieces are gone in Comfey, and he gets Annihilate, Galarian Slowking, Fortress, Clefable, and Trevenant. None of which I think are really great for this fight. Clefable would be the exception. And I know you're like, but Sneasler's there, but Clefable's freaking thick, and with the right plays around, it can be in the right spot. So I think Clefable's a good option this week. Counter to Chi-Yu, counter to Garchomp. Played well, it'll be a good fit. I think Greninja has to come. We expect Ice Beam and or some other ice move to deal with Garchomp. Would this be a Battle Bond week? I could see Battle Bond, but gotta have some sort of ice coverage there. Water coverage. I don't know if you need dark coverage as much. I guess it's good for Spectre, Chi-Yu, and Bramblegast. Neutral into Ampharos too, and Weirdeer. So yeah, I would expect, 3 attack maybe, and then choose your final move. If that's a tech Water Shuriken, if that's a tech U-turn or something like that, go for it there. That would be my idea for Greninja this week. Other options, I mean, Annihilate potentially just to counter Sneasler. But I'll be honest, Michael's team doesn't look great against this matchup. Zapdos, I feel like, has to come as an option to deal with Garchomp as well. Although Garchomp might not even come with that. Not needing dark coverage is crazy for Shadow. I think dark is good in this team. Like, Spectre, Bronzong, Bramblegast, Ampharos, Weirdeer don't really care, and that's half the team. So, I mean, 3 attack, give your utility move. Maybe Life Orb, depending on if you want to run Battle Bond or not. Again, I haven't seen any of the matches, so I don't know what that means. Unless it means you didn't bring a dark type move, which I think is crazy. But that's just me. Stab is stab. You take stab where you can. Unless you really don't need it. What else does Michael bring this week? Greninja, we said Annihilate. I would say Slowking isn't terrible. I mean, specifically Sneasler and Rillaboom. I like Slowking. Those 3 come. I would say Clefable. I like the matchup this week. Latios feels good too as a way to deal with Sneasler. As a way to deal with Garchomp. Maybe I don't bring that one. Just depends on how you feel. And honestly, there's nothing else I really like. Maybe the Terra Bisharp. Oh, Terra what? Terra Flying Bisharp. Now hear me out. Seems very weird, but Terra Flying Bisharp helps Garchomp, helps with Sneasler, Rillaboom, Bramblegast. The only thing it's really scared about is Ampharos, and Ampharos ain't coming. So that might be where I throw my Terra investment this week. All right. Gordon, on the other hand, I think seeing all the answers for Garchomp, you leave Garchomp home. Bring Sneasler, Willaboom. That set is a good set for this team. Unburden, Sneasler sweeps. Unburden, Sneasler sweeps without Glow King. I would maybe... Do I bring Terra-Azu? Would I bring Terra-Azu this week? I mean, the belly drum thing isn't going to work 2 weeks in a row, right? But on the other hand, belly drum looks pretty sick. But Unaware Clef, though, that would be the option to deal with Azu. I don't know. I might try the Azu again if I'm Gordon. I don't know about that. Definitely Spectral Sneasler. We are on the last match of the week. We just watched match of the week, which was the very, very good and close fight between Joe and whoever Joe fought, which I don't remember. Joe and Dom was match of the week right now. We are looking at the last match, which is Gordon and Michael, the Altamir Guardians versus the Untitled Archon team, which again is a title for a team, even though it's untitled. I don't know what else you bring. Sneasler, Rillaboom, Azu seems okay. I would honestly potentially try Bronzong this week as a way to shut down the Glow King. I would absolutely try Bronzong this week. I love Bronzong in draft, but this would be a week that I would bring it for that specific purpose too. Also as a complete answer to Clefable, because you weren't worried about Flamethrower or anything. So we have 4. And then I guess you bring Spectre or Garchomp. I don't really like any of the bottom tiers. Chiyu definitely doesn't want to come this week. That's what I would imagine. All right, let's see the Untitled paste for the Untitled team. And I will pull the other one obviously back so we can look. All right. Nope, I have Discord in the way. All right, you guys can see it. Sweet. All right. Heat-proof Bronzong. Like it. Don't really get the heat-proof. I don't think. Do I get the heat-proof? Do I understand why heat-proof's there? Am I missing something? Flamethrower? Flamethrower. Yeah, Flamethrower. 100%. Way to deal with Clefable. Flamethrower. Light Screen Reflect. Absolutely. Heavy Slam Rock Slide. I don't know about no Psychic move, but it really only depends if Muck shows up again. We are again trying the trick, the thick fat trick room, the thick fat belly drum Azu play with Terra Electric this week. We have the Grassy Seed Core, which I think is phenomenal, and they don't need any explanation other than there. Garchomp as a defense, as a middle ground defensive Rocky Helmet set, very nice. And Choice Scarf Chiyu, which I don't hate, I don't love, I don't hate. And then we have Gordon's team. Sorry, not Gordon's team. We have Michael's team. The Laddie comes, as we said. I think that's a pretty good option. Try to deal with things. Soldew is nice because you don't need really any other coverage. Coal Mine Recover. I think that does the work. Oh, we were skipping. Let's start at the top. Rocky Helmet Muck. Terra Ghost Rocky Helmet Muck. Okay, interesting. No poison moves. Into no poison moves into the I guess that makes sense because Azu's Terra, but maybe kind of crazy. More of a defensive set was Pain Split. I like that idea. It's an Headbutt knockoff. I wonder what they thought Terra Azu was going to be here. I don't hate Terra Ghost Muck though. I guess that's more of like a rapid spin counter, maybe. I don't know. Bronzong foreshadowing. Am I just like I promise I've not watched the game. I'm just saying what I would do and commentating on it. So apparently I'd be good in this league. What Michael's saying in the chat. Heavy duty boots Zapdos. That's pretty standard. Obviously, Discharge for Paras is great. Yeah, standard Zapdos there. We talked about Latios already. Again, I think Terra Flying Bisharp could go crazy this week. I don't hate the moveset, though. I really don't hate the moveset, though. Although, do I need Steel Stab? I would say you don't need Steel Stab. I would say run Terra Blast. Run Terra Blast Flying. Remove the Steel Stab. And call it a day. Like, that's a 6 set. Heavy Duty Boots regen, Slow King, perfect. Chilly Reception for the pivoting. Okay. Now, Future Sight is hit or miss. I am remiss to see Future Sight without Nasty Plot. But it's not terrible. And I don't hate it. And then Greninja. I did call the 3 attack with a utility option. It's not the 3 attacks that I would have expected, because it's Sludge Wave, Blizzard, Water Shuriken, and U-Turn. And the utility option is U-Turn. No strong Water Stab. No Dark Stab. And your way to deal with Garchomp is Blizzard and Draco. I don't like that at all. Yeah, I think Gordon wins this fight, if I'm being honest here. Let's take a look at the teams in the matchup. Okay, what's the leads here? We didn't talk leads at all. I mean, I think I lead Garchomp if I'm Gordon. Maybe I lead Greninja for pivoting options. Maybe I try to hammer something out with the unpredictability of Latios. I like how Greninja's Terra Water. Greninja's not Terra, right? I'm not crazy. Yeah, Greninja's not Terra, but Greninja's not Stellar like the other ones. It's gonna be something to look forward to. So okay. The Terra Steel Azu, I think it's Belly Drum Azu sweep. That's what you're aiming for. The lead's Garchomp, and or you might facade that with. I don't think you facade it with Bronzong. I think you lead Garchomp 100%. And on the other side of that, you go Lati. You go Lati and or Greninja to try to deal with it. Yeah, it's Garchomp with Slow King. So that's an EQ prediction in the Zapdos, which gets baited by oh, this is not going well. Which gets flipped into Swords Dance, then into Scale Shot, which makes Zapdos makes Garchomp really fast. And you get rough skin damage, bringing Zapdos to half. While you have to deal now with Bisharp with Terra Water, which does stop the Earthquake weakness. And you do have a counter, so it works out. Is so shyest? Shites. I get it. I mean, the Terra Water is not bad here. The flying would have been nice. Here's the switch into the pivot into Unburden, which we do not actually see right away. It's gonna be later. But GU Dark Pulses, that's Bisharp dead. The one thing I'd like to see more from Michael's team is the Bisharp getting used and not dying super fast. Like, make the Terra useful or find another way to use the Bisharp in general would be my answer. But I mean, you get a good pivot into the Greninja. Should click Blizzard here, clicks Water Shuriken, and that does literally nothing. Yeah, we know Rillaboom beat Zapdos 1v1 at this point. Although so this is, did we see Terrain Extender? No, we didn't. We're trying to find a way to get in this need, although Rillaboom's just kind of winning. And at this point, all right. I apologize. We're calling Blizzard a bad move and not seeing the chilly reception into Blizzard. That makes a lot of sense. A dark move here is great though. A dark move here is great though, and we don't have a dark. I see the problem. We don't have a dark move, and that's gonna let dual screens come up potentially. It is gonna allow dual screens, so that's 4 turns on reflect and 6 turns on light screen. And we're gonna spam knockoff. Choice getting rid of specs honestly is pretty good. I don't understand the switching so much. Maybe just pivoting. Sticky hold's cute. But I feel like we're just wasting screens right now. And this is what we've been trying to get to, the Sneasler the whole time. Which actually comes in a good time because that mitigates the damage there from what's it called? Knockoff. Now, I feel like the Sneasler did just get thrown away though. And here's where Belly Drum Azu comes in. Because yes, while foul play Bisharp was great for this team, it got used on Garchomp, which then allows probably another 4 kills for Azumarill right here, because what comes in and stops it besides, yeah, what comes in and stops it? Terra Electric is huge. Terra Electric is huge because, oh, hold on. Latios actually, whoa. Latios actually doing the work. That, what's it called? Well, the orb is really helpfful there. But Shiyu still can come in and deal with this in the back here. The Draco is the only thing. And that Soldew is causing havoc here. Although I think Rillaboom's got this right here. Yeah, that's dead. Yeah, I don't see a way besides Chilly Reception to get that Rillaboom dead. And because there is no Dark Stab, that's gonna really make this Bronzong a massive problem. There's Chilly Reception into Greninja. Yeah. So we know the Greninja doesn't have a dark move. That KOs this. That KOs Bronzong. We switch into Slowking to die to the Rillaboom, and then we have a free Blizzard to deal with the Rillaboom in the back, because we know it does have Grassy Glide, which is mildly problematic. However, the pivot into U-turn makes all of that not matter. I'm trying to understand these plays. I'm trying to understand these plays. But what do you do to beat Bronzong here? That's a great question, and I don't know the answer. U-turn. U-turn is the way. U-turn is the way. Yeah, you use spam heavy slam. Yeah, this is just a matter of turns at this point. I'll be honest, this game is a lot closer than it needed to be. That start with Garchomp was just phenomenal. And unfortunately, it kind of gets squandered a bit because of foul play Bisharp. But potentially the biggest issue is that the oh no. Oh no. So remember when I said something about Future Sight? Yeah, Levitate, not for the grassy terrain, but also, yes, he's running Heat Proof. I would imagine because of Flamethrower Clefable, and or I believe Latios gets Flamethrower. So that would be why I would be running Heat Proof also. And if you have, he doesn't really have to worry about ground types, so it makes more sense to run the fire resist than the ground resist here. So I talked about 2 things. I said 3 attack Greninja being the 2 stabs and an ice move. And then I talked about Slowking with a psychic stab that wasn't future sight. And all of that comes down to this Bronzong sitting here and making this battle go on forever. However, because it's not lefties, it loses. This game, I don't know what to call this game. Funny is a good word for it. Ludicrous, I think, works. I don't have words. Like, it's a good game. That bit my tongue. It hurt. It's a great game. It's a great game. Like, it's a 1-0, very close, came down to the wire. But just the way we got here is what I don't get. The way I don't know how we got there. Like, this started so good for Gordon, and then you just got chump checked by foul play Bisharp. Which then gets bopped. Which then allows, you know, pivoting and bopping to happen to get rid of Zapdos. Which gets us down to screens and the Muck Stall Fest. Which is phenomenal. The waste of Sneasler that tries to deal with Muck but can't. Into the Belly Drum Azzy, which gets procced 9,000 turns too early. Just for Latios to grab 2 kills. To be stunted on by a stupid monkey. That cannot put away either of the last 2 Mons. And then Para sits here, does some chip damage, and we sit in a stall fest until eventually the Bronzong dies. What the hell did I just watch? I don't like any of this. Yeah, for like absolute, like, if you want a mind like numb, watch this game. Cause holy crap, I don't have a way to deal with it. You drafted Muck only to deal with Masquerada and Sneasler. Jeez. Muck has so much more use than that, though. It worked out. I mean, it worked. It worked out. I'm just like... I'm so confused. I think that's the only thing I can say. Is like, I'm just confused. I don't know who won, even though there's a winner on my screen. Like, that's what it is. Holy dang, this was a battle. So, yeah, good job, everybody. Is there anything else we want to talk about with this? No, there's nothing else I want to talk about in this match. My brain hurts too much to say anything else. Just too much. So, looking forward to week 3. Again, there will be a bit of a break between the next stream and the ones following. I think we're going to be doing a big hodgepodge of week 4, 5, and 6 together because I am gone for 2 weeks in the middle of the season, which is the main reason why I didn't participate in the team. Main reason why I didn't build a team and participate in the league was because I was going to be gone for these 2 weeks, and I knew I wouldn't be able to implement myself as I'd like to. But yeah, it's getting crazy. I think Banzai is doing phenomenal from what I've seen. I'd love to see the score, the rankings of things, but I don't want to look. So I'll work on that for maybe next week. I might make my own little chaos tab with my rankings and stuff for the online stuff, so I don't have to like look through the standings and those kinds of things. But as I said, I feel pretty good about my calls this week. I mean, I went on some limbs there and was like, Explosion as Elf was the thing that I called. The Sticky Web Cricketune. Like, man, we I don't know. If this show says anything about the next couple weeks of this league, I'm gonna be excited about what happens and what we see. So thank you all for being present with the stream. Thank you for being present with this. I will be live next week. Next week will be the last one before the break, and then we will have a hyper week of many. We'll probably have a long stream of just a lot of stuff to go over. So, I mean, it takes me 2 hours to go through one stack of games, let alone what it's going to take me to do 3. So, we will do our best, and I might start early that week, but we'll do our best to keep you covered on everything here with the GPA. We really appreciate you all watching. Thank you for enjoying this. Again, the video of this will be posted after the fact. So if you missed the entire live stream, you want to go back and watch your particular segment, if you're a coach, if you have an interest in a particular coach or a team, or you want to see about a battle, we can go back and watch it. The video will be live with the same link, so please feel free to watch it on a replay. And always leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more. I really appreciate that. There will be plenty more of these coming out in the future, as we do every single week of the league until we are done. And we'll even be doing stuff, I believe, for postseason, so that'll be fun as well. But looking forward to all that stuff in the future as we get there and as things shake out. Support me by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. If you feel so inclined, become a member today. Get access to member-only exclusive content. You will have seen my Mario Baseball Draft League that I did. That's member-exclusive content. But also all the other fun things, the perks that you get, I would appreciate all of that. It would be great to have you guys become members of the channel to support what I do here, but also the other stuff that is on the channel. And please go check out the other stuff too. We got a Let's Play going on right now, a 3-way Soul Link, which is called the Rotation Link, which is a style of Nuzlocke that I created myself that is going up on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So there'll be an episode tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. But also you can come check out the live streams over on Twitch. I am on twitch.tv/chaos6, where we are doing our Minecraft durability challenge and also Pokemon Leaf Green Ironmon. So if you want to come check all that stuff out, it'd be great. Of course, there'll be more Draft League stuff in the future from me, but I do not have the time to join a league at the current moment, so that is why there is no battles or anything like that. But stay tuned for that if you like my commentary, if you like my things. I do the same thing when I'm doing my teams, so come check it out. I would appreciate that. Go check out the other Draft League videos. I really liked last season. I think it was a great season for me. So I would recommend you check that out if you're looking for something from me. But also there is the socials I put in the chat. If you click on the link tree, it will take you to all of my socials. I'm on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Discord, YouTube, and all the fun stuff there. So please follow me on all my social media platforms for fun highlights, announcements, those kinds of things. Would appreciate all that. And so continue to support your GPA boys who are working hard to bring you some really good battles. I'm excited for week 3. I'm interested in what matchups are going to happen. And I might be creating some more stuff to help with that in the future. But as for me and as for now, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the week 2 watch party of the Global Pokemon Association. Sorry, Alliance. I always think A stands for Association. It's Alliance. You want to see more? Stay tuned here. And I would appreciate you for that. But I will also help share in the content that is going up for the league and stuff going forward. So please stay tuned for that. But otherwise, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed. Until next time, my name is Chaos. I'm signing off. Stay safe, and as always,